long before the flood that would cleanse the earth, before Noah's Ark floated on the waters, before giants roamed the land and humans fell into violence and corruption, there was a man who walked with God. His name was Enoch, a man spoken of in only a few brief lines in the book of Genesis. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him. Just 14 words, simple, mysterious, silent. But what if those words are only the surface? What if behind that silence lies a story far greater than most of us have ever imagined? A story of angels who fell from heaven, of giants born from forbidden unions, of knowledge forbidden to mankind, and of a judgment so profound it would shake the heavens themselves. This is the story of the Book of Enoch, a text that was revered by some, ignored by many, and eventually almost lost to history. A book that survived in the highlands of Ethiopia, hidden in monasteries, preserved by scribes, whispered about by scholars. A book that centuries later would be rediscovered, sparking curiosity, fascination, and even controversy across the world. The Book of Enoch is not part of most Bibles today. It was excluded from the Jewish canon and from nearly every Christian Bible except in Ethiopia. Yet it influenced the thoughts of the earliest believers. It is quoted directly in the New Testament, and it paints a picture of the ancient world, a world teetering on the edge between heaven and earth, good and evil, divine order and chaos. Today, it continues to fascinate. Scholars study it for historical insight, prophecy enthusiasts explore its visions of the future, and ordinary readers are drawn to its mysteries, the giants, the angels, the visions of heaven. But the story of Enoch is more than a tale of angels and giants. It is a story about humanity's struggle with knowledge and sin, about the consequences of rebellion against God, about the hope of judgment and redemption.
And so we begin our journey into the Book of Enoch, a book that refuses to be forgotten, a book that challenges the imagination, a book that opens a window into the unseen realms of heaven and earth. The Book of Enoch is one of the most mysterious texts connected to the Bible, and yet for centuries, the world barely knew it existed. This is not just a book of legends, it is an ancient manuscript written hundreds of years before the birth of Christ. Scholars believe the earliest sections were composed between 300 BC and 100 BC. Its pages describe angels descending to earth, giants walking the land, forbidden knowledge spreading among humanity, and a world so corrupted that divine judgment was inevitable. But despite its dramatic stories, the Book of Enoch was almost entirely lost to the Western world. For centuries, it existed only in whispers and fragments. Most of the original manuscripts were written in ancient Aramaic, Greek, or Ge'ez, the ancient language of Ethiopia. And as centuries passed, it disappeared from libraries, hidden in monasteries, or simply forgotten. Then, in the 18th century, a remarkable discovery brought the book back to the attention of the world. A Scottish explorer named James Bruce traveled deep into the Ethiopian highlands. There, among monks and ancient manuscripts, he found copies of the Book of Enoch, preserved for centuries, almost untouched by time. These manuscripts were not just relics of history. They contained astonishing visions and prophecies, some of which were quoted in the New Testament. Yet outside Ethiopia, the book remained largely unknown, almost as if it had vanished from human memory. Why did it disappear? Partly because it was not accepted by Jewish leaders into their canon, partly because early Christian leaders debated its authority, and partly because it survived only in a few remote locations, safe from fire, war, and decay, but hidden from most of the world. Yet, even in its absence, the Book of Enoch was never completely forgotten. Fragments were discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls, showing that it had been widely read during the time of Jesus.
It was a book respected by early Jewish groups, preserved by some,
debated by others, but always hovering in the shadows of history. Today, the Book of Enoch is more than a curiosity. It is a bridge, a window into the thoughts, fears, and hopes of ancient people. A text that reveals how early humanity wrestled with the mysteries of heaven and earth. The story of the Watchers begins with angels, beings created to serve God, to watch over the earth, and to guide humanity. But some angels did not remain faithful. According to the Book of Enoch, 200 angels, known as the Watchers, looked down from heaven and saw the daughters of men. They desired them. They took them as wives. From these unions came giants, the Nephilim, creatures of enormous size and strength. They walked the earth and consumed everything in their path. Crops were devoured, villages were destroyed. Violence became the law of the land. But the Watchers did more than fall in love. They brought forbidden knowledge to humanity. They taught humans things they were never meant to know: sorcery and dark magic, astrology and the secrets of the stars, warfare and weapons of destruction, seduction and beauty rituals. Humanity became corrupted. Innocence was lost. And the giants? They were ravenous, violent, and uncontrollable. They turned against their creators and against humanity itself. The Book of Enoch is explicit. This corruption angered God. The rebellion of the Watchers was not just disobedience, it was a cosmic crime, a tearing of the order between heaven and earth. God sent the archangels to punish them. Their judgment was severe. The Watchers were bound and imprisoned in dark places until the final day of reckoning. Their children, the giants, were destroyed in the flood, cleansing the earth of their violence.
The story of the Watchers explains the origin of evil in the ancient world, the rise of human sin, and the devastation that led to the flood. It also explains why knowledge, once a gift, can become dangerous when misused. For early readers, the story of the Watchers was terrifying, a warning. It revealed that angels are not beyond choice, that even heavenly beings can rebel, and that humanity can be influenced by powers beyond sight. And in the middle of this chaos stood Enoch, a man who walked with God. He became a mediator, a messenger sent to pronounce judgment and to reveal the secrets of heaven. Amid the chaos of the fallen angels and their giants, there stood a man unlike any other. Enoch, a man who walked with God.